Hi, folks, and welcome back to episode 2 of Rut Row. It's a Scooby-Doo podcast.
I'm Mo. I'm sorry I burped. I'm Mo. I'm so sorry. I was trying to hold it in before we started. Everything went wrong. I'm so sorry. This is why we don't eat during.
Okay,
I've learned.
That's Mo, and I'm Chris, and we review all the Scooby-Doo movies.
With adult language.
Yeah, fair warning before we start. There's going to be adult language, some adult themes maybe, because we're going to talk about really weird stuff. But, you know, if that's not cool with you, just stop listening now.
Also, like last episode, I learned how much Scooby-Doo animators really liked drawing in camel toes.
Can we not talk about that again? That was from last episode. This is a whole new day.
Just recap. Camel toes.
Yeah, so we've covered the first movie, Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood, which was terrible. Now, we're on to the second movie, Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers.
Fuck yes!
It's a better movie.
It's one I remember more, I think.
Yes, I actually, just as we sat down, remember the entire plot of this movie. I remember jokes and things like that. I was like, I remember this movie. I had entirely forgotten, spoiler alert, there's a gorilla in this movie. You forgot that too, didn't you?
I remember the gorilla, but why is that important?
He's like a major part of the plot.
Yeah.
Like, he's the problem. I'd totally forgotten it. I was just like, it's Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers, which is just their name for the Three Stooges.
Right.
Not played by the Three Stooges, by the way. Although, just to touch on the cast, the classic Scooby-Doo crew is here. Don Messick is Scooby-Doo, Casey Kasem is Shaggy.
Of course. And
then a bunch of very well-known for their time voice actors filling in stuff, like Rob Paulsen, Ronnie Scheel. I think that's how you say his name. I've never actually had to pronounce it. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so like, you know, pretty classic cast. The writer was Jim Ryan, who wrote a bunch of other animation at the time, both before and after. He actually wrote the next movie in the series, if you want to call it a series. He wrote the next Scooby-Doo movie.
In our series. Thank you.
In our tragic series.
This really should be titled, Mo and Chris Want to Drink and Watch Scooby-Doo and Need an Outlet.
Or, alternatively, Mo and Chris's Reason to Drink. But yeah, no, this one's going to be fine. My only issue with it, and we'll cover this again after I've seen it, is I recall, part of the problem I have with this movie, as I recall, is it's Three Stooges gags, which were funny because the Three Stooges were human beings doing those gags, and when you just make them into actual cartoons doing cartoon stuff, it's like, it's fine.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it later, but I kind of just felt like, you know, I felt a little better with them hurting themselves as cartoons than as people. Maybe I'm just a good person. I don't know. Maybe I just don't like people getting hurt. And it's okay if cartoons get hurt.
Okay. In response to Mo throwing shade at me as being a terrible person, which is fine. That's totally fine. We're now going to head into this movie, which I have, like, middling expectations on. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. No, I remember loving this movie. Again, I was a child, and I also loved movies such as The Troll in Central Park. I've watched that recently. It's shit, so I'm a little concerned. But that's okay.
I'm pretty sure this one has no racism in it.
God help us.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. We'll see.
The last one did it?
No.
I'm telling you, it's the least racist cartoon of my childhood, and that's why our series is called Honoring the Least Racist Cartoon of My Childhood. I don't care what you've named it.
We've talked about this. I'm the producer, and I own the equipment, and I own the movie, so I get to decide the name.
Well, that sounds racist, and I don't like that. Or sexist. Yeah, sexism. I'll pick that one.
You don't just get to pick. All right, we're watching a movie now. Goodbye. Okay, so that happened. That was... well, it was better than Scooby-Doo Goes Hollywood.
Well, okay, first off, this movie was longer than necessary for many reasons.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Personal. Because your girl made churros. Mid-movie.
I didn't think we were actually going to talk about that. We got distracted during the watching of this film, but we did finish it.
We did. I'm just saying they were delicious and possibly better than this movie.
There are a lot of things better than this movie.
Which, kind of upsets me because this movie, I loved it. When you told me you were going to watch it, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's my movie. I love Boo Brothers. And, the Troll Central Park thing kind of happened again. Like, it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad, nearly as bad as, like, Little Bear when I rewatched it. It was just like, this is so boring.
Well, that's the biggest problem with it, I think, is that I guess when you're a kid, it doesn't really click with you.
Uh-huh.
But when you're an adult watching this movie, they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, which makes time seem to just stretch out.
But there's nothing interesting really going on in this movie.
Well, it's the same. The thing is that it's the same steps, just jumbled up. Yeah. So the plot is that they go out to this mansion in the South, which apparently Shaggy's related to a Confederate general.
Apparently.
Named Beauregard. So he's got this old plantain mansion.
It's not even... It's plantain. Mansion.
Shut up. Get over it. Just get it. Plantation. The word's plantation. All right. But yeah, so there's this southern... Shut up. There's this Southern Confederate general uncle, I think, is what Shaggy says it is. That leaves him the mansion.
That has to be like his great uncle. That can't be like his uncle.
I was not paying enough attention to know whether the ghost was of like an ancient relative or the guy who just died and gave him the mansion. It wouldn't make a fucking difference to me, to be honest.
That's fair.
I don't care.
Okay. Sorry.
The point is, someone died, and Shaggy got a mysterious note that he'd inherited this mansion, along with a ghost that was never fucking explained at all.
It was addressed to Shaggy. His real name is Norville. I talk about this a lot because it upsets me.
His name is Norville Rogers, and it is addressed to Shaggy. I don't think they established that his name was Norville until later.
Alright.
Like many movies down the line. We'll have to keep an eye out for that to see when they hit on that fact. But yeah, so they go out to the middle of absolute fuck nowhere swampland where this decrepit house is, and a lot of things happen at once, and then nothing happens for a long time.
So first we meet the cop. I believe that's who we first meet.
Well, first there's the ghosts. Like, first they get scared. Like, it's like Confederate general on the horse, all ghost chasing. Or the headless horseman, whichever it was.
Yeah, it was a headless horseman.
Ghost chases them. Yeah. They get freaked out. They run away. And then the sheriff is like, you're driving recklessly on this dirt road that no one else is on. I'm going to give you a ticket because I abused my power to fool myself into thinking my dick's not tiny. Or whatever. Like, it's so dumb.
And, like, they bring up, like, there's an escaped gorilla.
Yep.
And, like, for a second, I was like, yo, is that dude? Because he looks exactly like one.
You thought the sheriff was going to be the gorilla.
Mind you, when I first saw this movie, that's where I thought we were going. I'm like, I've seen people wear masks before. The gorilla had a human suit. It's a perfect twist.
That makes sense.
Just really changes things. I mean, he was a circus gorilla. He's not your regular, like, zoo gorilla.
Wait. So you didn't think the sheriff was the gorilla. You thought the gorilla was the sheriff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hang on. Okay, I'm good.
He was really talented. Like I said, he wasn't your regular run of the mill. Plantain mansion. Okay, shut up. We're even.
I think we need to just agree, just give up. Give up forever.
Speaking, not our specialty. But yeah, he just looked like...
Also, we've both had a drink.
I had...
More.
I've had, like, 2 shots, and that tasted tasty Smith & Forge. Sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Please be sponsor, though. If Smith & Forge sponsored us, that'd be so exciting.
Okay, but anyways, so we meet the sheriff. He's a dill.
Yeah, and then they get to the mansion, and we meet the creepy manservant, who's my favorite character, probably, because he just hangs out being creepy and weird.
You know, we got slim pickings with that movie for favorite character, because our least favorite character, fucking Scrappy, is in this shit. Ruining things, being a dick.
Yeah, we just basically didn't mention him at all. The longer we can go without mentioning him, the happier I'll be.
I apologize. Please edit this out, since you are the editor. Forget I said he who shall not be named.
There's no post on this at all. I'm literally just putting in the shit I need to put in.
So that means I get to name it Scooby-Doo Podcast, The Monsters Man.
No, you don't get to do anything.
I get to do that.
No.
I'm gonna just take this off of SoundCloud and retitle it.
You don't know where I'm gonna post it. I'll do whatever
court.
I want. So Scrappy's in this, just persistently being a piece of shit. So anytime we talk about Scrappy, it'll just be like, that fucker does a thing. But yeah, so they get there. The manservant is great because, spoiler alert, he's not doing anything. He's just a creepy dude who served the Beauregard family for a long time and just thinks he deserves some money out of that.
Just wants one fucking diamond out of it. Which, he's a very humble man.
He does like steal the jewels.
Right.
Like he does swipe like the diamond and a necklace, but like he just wants money and he's kind of doesn't have any social skills. Like those are his only crimes is thinking he deserves severance pay.
Let's remember the other crime of wearing sunglasses at night.
They establish with just one shot and then never mention it again that his eyes go like fucking crazy different directions. Like, imagine if you took someone who was cross-eyed and then rotated their eyes like radio dials and just stopped wherever you felt like. That's what his eyes are doing. They're just like rolling around in his head. Maybe he's blind. They don't establish very much about his character.
Yeah, they really don't.
But he's funny because he's just super creepy 24/7.
I mean, obviously you can see because he's like, ooh, shiny, but whatever.
That was the gorilla.
This is the fucking guy who wanted all the fucking jewels. No.
I'm sorry.
No, we need to do this.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you grabbed your phone to check on something.
No.
Anyways,
Okay. So there's him. So we meet him. He's super creepy.
Uh-huh.
And then it's like, house is haunted. And the sheriff comes. And there's some gags that they're not funny. They don't matter. And there's mention of the Beauregard family jewels. There's secret hidden jewels somewhere in the house.
Which I'm really upset it isn't just the uncle's severed penis. I thought that too would have been a great twist.
No.
Everything else was a pun.
Oh my god, this movie is just puns. Like, it's puns all the way down. It's the worst. I hated it.
Some of them weren't even, like, good puns. Some of them were literally like, get it? Fucking seller? Because you're not a buyer. You're a fucking seller. Get it?
Do you get it? I can just imagine the movie screaming it at you and then beating you with a belt.
Get it? Seller, buyer, a tick, attic. Kind of get it. It goes.
During the Civil War, puns were considered the most intelligent way of conveying a message.
Yes.
God damn.
I mean, think of the Underground Railroad.
And then,
that
okay,
was a pun.
I'm also upset.
Okay.
This skips all the way to the end, but I don't even care because it upsets me so much.
We're just going to talk about things that upset us.
Yes!
This is our outlet. Welcome to your free therapy.
Okay, so just to the movie's credit, there are parts of it that are funny, and if you put a child down in front of this, it will distract them. There's things going on,
Right.
There's dumb jokes that they'll laugh at. Do not watch this as an adult, though. Nothing is good about it as an adult. It's like, maybe if we'd had more people around and we were all just going ham cracking jokes about this movie, it would be fun to watch,
Uh-huh.
but it's not a good movie.
It's not. That's why we got sidetracked so much. Because...
Probably. We just got bored and didn't want to go back to it.
Yeah.
So so the thing I was going to jump to is the final thing where they stop finding individual jewels and get all the Beauregard family money.
Right.
There's just a giant fucking lever next to the chimney.
That nobody noticed before.
Yeah, like, this place has been here for like 400 years. No one's paying attention to the giant ass lever that just protrudes out of the stonework.
Right. Yeah.
And then they pull it, and it's like a casino game where it goes like, bing, ding, 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 ding. Flood of jewels come down the chimney. Nobody in the entirety of time was like, I should look around this whole house poking things and maybe pull that giant lever next to the fucking fireplace.
I think what bothered me the most about this movie, like, I get that, that logical issue happened. What bothered me so much was all the fucking sexual harassment and assault. Like, dear God.
So let's run through the movie with our through line being the history of sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
Like, front to back. So it starts out fine, but then they introduce the escaped gorilla, because that's one of the plot lines is there's an escaped gorilla from the circus.
Right.
The gorilla is apparently very attracted to Scooby-Doo. That gorilla wants to bang that dog.
Right. And not in a sexy musical way like the previous movie. Like in a very touchy...
I forgot that there was a song about the woman wanting to bang Scooby in the last movie. What is wrong with these people?
Scooby's just sexy.
And maybe you guys think that we're crazy, but seriously, if you can put yourself through it, watch this movie. The gorilla is making eyes at the dog.
Yeah. And stroking him weird. And then there's that scene in the cellar where he's like reaching down and
there's a part
Scooby. Ugh.
We can go through this in any order. Okay, I'm just gonna run through what happens in this movie in literally like 2 sentences. They get to the mansion. They call the Boo brothers. Yes. They find a clue. There are gags. Someone who is the villain hears them read the clue. They go to the next place where there's a clue. There are gags. The villain gets there, and they run away from him. And then there's gags. They read the clue. It's just a mix of the same stuff. It's like gags, fleeing from the villain, finding clues, reading clues, getting to the next clue. Those things just jumble them up in any way you want, and that's every part of this movie. Right. So we're just going to go through it in any order because none of it fucking matters. It's literally just like one stupid clue to the next stupid clue over and over and over again, which is why it gets so boring because you know exactly what's going to happen every single minute. Right. Like, as they enter a scene, you're like, all right, chase through the cemetery. Got it. Right. All right, chased off of the rooftop. Got it. All right, chased out of the cellar. Got it.
Right. Okay, but I don't like that one of their gags was a redneck woman, like, assaulting the fuck out of Shaggy. Like, was
We're
going
to talk about how terrible she is, but I also want to bring up that I just need to say the like 2 characters, they're supposed to be like rednecks. Uh-huh. The sheriff too, but less so. Yeah. Are extremely offensive. Like, I'm not a super political correct,
I don't even
knight.
Know the term.
Like
white knight. All right.
Yeah, like that I'm not like that.
Right.
But seriously, they're depicted solely as being the butt of jokes. Like, they're horrendously stupid. She is disturbingly sexually attracted to Shaggy. Mm-hmm. To the point of assaulting him on multiple occasions. Like, she's just rampant, horny, super strong, crazy.
She took those mail-ordered muscle courses.
That was one of the best jokes in the entire movie. Is she has this woman has super strength. Sally Mae is her name, I think.
Whatever.
And you're really upset.
I don't like her. It made me like super uncomfortable. Like, I was not about her.
I can understand that. But so she has super strength, and it's explained by a single line by her brother, where he's like, "Wow, I can't believe that she got those mail order. What was it?
Muscle courses.
Mail order muscle courses. What's a muscle course?"
I think steroids. I think Sally Mae is hooked on steroids.
I think you might be right because it's not fitness or like it isn't. They don't name a type of working out. It's just like nope, muscle courses.
Yeah.
The course you take to get muscles. Oh
A
god.
regimen of steroids is what she got.
Yeah, so she's just after Shaggy's dick something fierce. And like she explicitly says they meet once and she's like he's cute. Then she says I'm going to marry him.
I intend to marry him. Yeah.
That's weird.
That's literally what she says.
It's really upsetting.
It's fucking freaky.
But then her brother is like wantonly running around. I said it again. Wanton. I have trouble with that word.
He's wandering around the plantain mansion.
Please stop making fun of me.
I'm so sorry.
I run this show. I can fire you.
You won't.
We're in my house. I can throw you out.
No, you love me. That's why we keep me around.
We?
Yeah.
I've
chosen to keep me around.
So yeah, Billy Bob, which is his fucking name. They named the character Billy Bob. I'm offended. I'm from, like, the Northeast. I live in a state, like, right where there's, like, you know, fucking rich people and shit. I'm offended by the guy named Billy Bob who never wears shoes and runs around with a musket. In the year 1986, I think this movie came out in.
87.
87?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's offensive as fuck.
Yeah.
Also, this movie might actually beat a lot of other Scooby-Doo movies for attempted murders. They're constant. Like, they're trying to cut down bridges that they're on to make them fall down into the river and die. Billy Bob's shooting at them constantly. The sheriff...
his gun being destroyed.
The sheriff gets shot at and does nothing.
Right.
The sheriff then gets a tree dropped on him.
The sheriff gets shot at and threatens to give tickets out.
And then he just jumps to threatening to shoot him back.
Right.
Like he goes from, I'm going to write you a citation, I'm going to write you 2 citations, you've got to the count of 3, and then I'm going to shoot you.
Right.
This movie has a lot to say about, like, other cultures and the power of the police. And, oh, okay, yeah, we should cover that real quick. The bad guy in the end is the sheriff. Sheriff's the bad guy. Also turns out it's not the sheriff, it's the sheriff's evil twin. The sheriff has a mustache, yet the mustached one is not the evil twin. Right. This upset me.
I noticed that too. I'm like, that's not the usual. The evil one usually has the stash. Isn't that how it works?
Movie, you have led me astray.
Isn't that how Michael Cera proved to be the evil one in that one movie?
I don't know what you're... Oh, this is the end?
No. He was the evil one with or without a mustache. This is the end. He was just...
I don't know what one you're talking about where he has a mustache.
Moving on.
Okay. God, I don't even... Oh, right. So the movie's named after the Boo Brothers, who are not in it terribly much. Like, they just show up to do, like, visual gags where they, like, hit each other and get rammed into things so that they splat because they're ghosts. Right. I think I was spot on with the fact that the Three Stooges are not as funny when they're cartoons. It could have just been that their timing wasn't as good as the Stooges. Like, they're just not as good.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch Casper, I could talk to you about what I think they really were. So
some of the people who are listening may have seen Casper. Explain to me how that parallel works.
Fucking Casper, am I right? That's all I got. Because you had to see it in order to understand. Okay,
no, go with me.
Look up the 90s Casper
No,
group.
just... So you
There's
think
a fat one. His name
Right.
is, like, Lardo or something.
Okay.
There's the skinny one who's, like, Shriek or something. I don't remember names. I'm really bad at saying things. And then there's the, like, kind of really annoying one with the high-pitched voice in the Casper movie. And that's what that group reminded me of. Not so much the Three Stooges. I mean, they had the gags and everything, but so did the three ghosts and Casper who were fucking around.
Maybe they were just Casper. I don't know when Casper came out.
See, but that's the thing is, Casper is like the 90s. I don't know if in the old cartoons they had those three in there. And
I don't
maybe
know.
That's
I'm
what
not
that's
about to
based
start
off
watching
of.
Casper cartoons.
Right. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I feel like that has something more to do with it than the Three Stooges. But I could see where you get the Three Stooges thing, because there was that one that went like yuck yuck yuck, even though he is the skinny one and Curly's usually the one that says yuck yuck yuck, and he doesn't have hair, and the one that didn't have hair wore a baseball cap because he's stylish.
Okay, so the reason that I think Three Stooges is an established dynamic, it isn't just mannerisms. It's you've got one that's like angry all the time who hits the other two. You've got one who's like dumb, basically. You've got one who's basically dumb and all he does is react to other people's jokes.
Right.
That's like Curly. Like Curly just reacted to other people's jokes. He didn't have that many himself.
Right.
Well, that's arguable. But then you've got like the middle one, Trico in this, and Larry in the Stooges. I would have gotten there.
Sorry.
But yeah, so you got Larry in the Stooges who like just makes smart ass comments. That's all he does. So like I saw that dynamic in the Boo Brothers, and I was like, all right, so it's just Three Stooges animated, and they didn't actually get the Three Stooges to do it. So fucking whatever, man. But yeah, so they have a bunch of dumb gags. I guess maybe a couple of them were funny. I don't remember any of them being funny.
I think we did laugh about some things. They had the party and they introduced their uncle Hyde and Go Seco. I thought that was pretty funny.
I laughed a little at that, and then I was angry about it. Yeah.
And then there was the Middle Eastern cousin Chico.
Chico.
Yeah, and that was, fucked up but a little funny.
I mean, there was a wrestler named the Iron Sheik during this period. Wrestling facts. That's what I bring to the table.
What else?
Wrestling facts and a microphone.
And your house on the computer.
So, yeah, basically all the Boo Brothers do is they're terrible at their job. They throw a party. They get kicked out and then have a super sob story to get hired again. Then they still don't do anything.
Right.
Shaggy at the end is like, you guys deserve a big reward. And I'm like, what the fuck did they do? They didn't do anything.
Yeah, the fucking Brew Brothers. It could have just been called Scooby Doo. That's all.
I mean,
Scooby Doo. Oh yeah, Scrappy was there, but we don't like to talk about it.
Scooby Doo and Scrappy in, I don't know, the Haunted Mansion something. Just something like that.
The Beauregard.
Don't do your little mic drop pose for that. That was terrible. Also, don't drop my mic, please.
It's expensive.
is money's. But yeah, it could have easily been something like Haunted Mansion Caper or whatever, like The Curse of the Kentucky Fried Treasure.
Oh my god, I love that. New title.
I hate
New title
that.
of the series.
I hate that.
New title.
Can't believe I
Fried
said that.
Treasure.
Oh yeah, the rampant, terrible Southern accents in this movie.
Oh
God, we're just complaining so much, but it was
but
So we're just gonna go straight to the part where we recommend this movie or not, because there isn't that much to talk about. Like, there just isn't. It's a tragic thing, because
it's a movie of filler.
Exactly. Like, we can't talk about every time, like, oh, Shriko got shot out of a cannon and hit a wall.
Right.
Oh, one of them, like, stretched another, like, Boo Brother and shot him at the wall and he splatted. And the ape chased away the villain at one point.
Yeah.
We should make sure that we cover all cases of sexual misconduct, because we did skip the creepiest one where they fall, the villain traps them in a pit and is like, give me the jewel and the clue. The villain never gets the clues.
Right.
Like, he's trying to get them. They always get the clue and then speak it out loud so the villain can get there before them.
Right.
That's like borderline mentally deficient. That's shameful. So they get dropped in the pit. The villain demands the jewel and the clue, and then before he can get them, he's like, ah, and runs away. And it turns out it was because the circus ape showed up, and villain's a big bitch. But the ape is there, and so Shaggy and Scooby are trying to figure out the clue. Scrappy was gone from the movie for like 3 blissful minutes. But then they make it awful because the gorilla reaches down to pet Scooby, and Scooby's like, oh yeah, I like that sugar.
Oh my god.
But the only one there is Shaggy, so he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stroke this fool back. And he pets Shaggy, and Shaggy's like, well, fucking leave me alone, man, I'm trying to read.
Right.
Which Shaggy has a lot of trouble reading that note, just for the one scene.
Right, and like Scooby's like, fine, be a bitch. And then he's like goes back to minding his business. And then the ape reaches down again and like strokes him again, and he's like, oh hello, you playing? Okay, we can do this.
His fucking eyebrows are disturbing as hell. Like they made Scooby do the thing of my nightmares.
Right, they gave Scooby bedroom eyes.
Yeah,
is what happened. And then it happens again, and Shaggy's like, fucking stop it, fucking dude. Not like, I'm not into that. Don't.
He doesn't know what's going on.
No. It wasn't like, I'm not into that. It was like later.
No, Shaggy's completely oblivious.
It wasn't a red light. It was a yellow light. And that's what confuses me.
Don't tarnish this for me. I enjoy these movies. Not this one in particular, but in general.
I'm just saying.
I'm a fan of Scooby-Doo, and you're making this weird now. But, so yeah. Shaggy is like, dude, stop messing with me while I'm trying to read. Because Scooby does pet that dude, like, super hard. I know that sounds weird, but have you ever had someone stronger than you, like, stiff-arm your head? Because that's what it looked like Scooby was doing, just like, ugh.
Just, like, wiping.
Yes, like he was trying to wipe something gross off his hand onto Shaggy's back of his head. Right. And then the gorilla makes itself known by snapping Scooby's ear, and Scooby's like, I'm not into that, and looks up.
That is what happened, though.
And then he's like, oh shit, gorilla.
I'm confused about my feelings towards the gorilla.
Yeah. The gorilla ends up being a sympathetic character because it's just a gorilla. Yeah. Like, they don't, like, the gorilla's like, ooh, big, scary, whatever, for part of the movie, and then they're like, oh, it's just a gorilla. He's just hanging out. Yeah. Messing with people because, like...
It's just like, at one point, they're like, he's just lost and confused. I feel bad for the guy. And the gorilla's like, yeah.
Like, he hadn't considered that option before. He's like, wait, I don't have to be the monster. I can be a sob story. Nailed it. Yeah, but the end of the movie is the sheriff comes in, arrests his brother. The gorilla is nowhere in sight. Just slips out. He's gone. Yeah. He continues to live in the swamp, I guess, eating whatever the fuck he wants. Who's going to stop him?
What happened to Billy Bob and Sally Mae?
Literally nothing. They just don't appear.
They just disappear.
Yeah, going through it in order. Arrest, gorilla isn't mentioned. Boo Brothers get the mansion. They drive away. Never to return.
Also, I think Shaggy's red shirt... Shaggy had a red shirt. Heads up. And I was saying that must mean something. And
are we going to overthink this?
Lo and behold, he takes his riches and distributes the wealth to orphans.
This is not a political podcast. I'm not going to let you hijack my podcast.
This episode of the podcast is Shaggy is a communist.
Stop trying to rename my show. I can fire you.
You won't, because you love me. And this is so much more enjoyable with me.
I mean, you're necessary. I can't do it by myself. No one else will do this with me. Everyone else I know is too smart.
That hurts my feelings so much. Alright, well, let's end this. I'm getting fired.
Well, I do think there's something else where Shaggy has a red shirt, but I don't remember what it is. It was like Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts,
I
or
think it was Ghoul School.
I don't think it's Ghoul School. It might be Reluctant Werewolf.
Oh, Reluctant Werewolf. That's it. Where he's the werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah, but there is something else where he has a red shirt. We'll figure it out. We'll get back to you on that. We'll touch base.
Yeah. We'll
Our
put a
people
pin
will
on
call
that.
your people.
Put a pin in it.
But yeah, so Scooby do's and don'ts. Now we head to Amazon and find out the public consensus on this movie. Shockingly, this movie is very highly rated, 84% 5-star ratings. I guarantee they are all from parents who have
Nostalgia.
7 to 11-year-old kids that they can sit down in front of this movie, because kids will love this movie. Like, if you have a small child and you want them to just fuck off for a little while, boom, let the television do your parenting for you. They will learn nothing. But we do have a handful of 1-star reviews, my favorite of which is 1 star from Jessica Montbatten. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, that's close enough.
I mean, that's what it looks like.
that's
Montbatten. From 2016, my 4-year-old has recently fallen in love with Scooby-Doo. My 4-year-old has recently fallen in love with Scooby-Doo, and I try to find the oldest ones I can for her to watch. The newer ones have scarier goblins, in my opinion. Anyway, this one just wasn't as expected. First, it also featured Scrappy, which was not mentioned in the description and is a deal breaker for me. Jessica knows what the fuck is up.
I know. Fucking right.
Secondly, it's just Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy with sign of Velma, Fred, or Daphne. Jessica is also not very good at sentence construction. But hey, we'll give her a pass on that one for now. Although they could have made an appearance toward the end, the 4-year-old asked me to shut it down halfway through. Not worth the rental fee.
She rented it.
And the 4-year-old was like,
Please
this
turn
is
off,
bullshit.
Mother, please do not.
Mama, this fails to entertain me.
Mother, this premise is preposterous at best.
Preposterous at best.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a lot about this review I like. Like, we hit most of it, but I also can't get over the newer ones have scarier goblins, in my opinion.
But you know,
Are all new Scooby-Doo movies about goblins? I have missed a few, but not that many.
But I kind of do know what she means. Like, the scary monsters are much more scarily animated and stuff.
Well, yeah, with production quality increasing, they did, like, if you jump up to, not even that far, like, skip Zombie Island, because Zombie Island is actually just like a horror movie.
Right.
It's great.
Oh my
That's
God,
going to be the
that's such
best
a good
one. That's going to be the best one. We're not going to
remember
dwell on it,
that.
though.
God,
But yeah,
I better not remember things anymore.
skipping that one, though, if you go, like, just, like, around that era, Curse of the Vampire was actually kind of creepy as a kid.
Yeah.
It didn't really get to me, but it was a little creepy.
Was that the one with the Hex Girls?
That was the second one with the Hex Girls. The first one is the Witch's Ghost, which
Right.
was also scary.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if, like, the newest ones are scary. I haven't seen any
The last
Scooby-Doo
one I saw
movie
was
made
the
after,
cyber one.
like...
That doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, but I haven't seen any Scooby-Doo movie made after, like, 05.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure was Cyber Chase. But anyway, so yeah, like, maybe they are scaring her small child.
Right.
Tell that little girl to get it together. She needs to man up.
Too bad there's no, like, comedic relief in Scooby-Doo to really help make those
Yeah, to
goblins
balance
less
this out.
scary.
As far as 5-star reviews, we have a wealth to choose from. And I really like this 5-star review from Starfire, which I did partially pick. I'm a big fan of Teen Titans. Don't you fucking judge me.
I love Teen Titans. I'm
it's
not
the
going
best.
to. It's so good.
But
Bitch.
so they actually bought the DVD. This was actually, I kid you not, this was November of 2017, so this just happened. and their review is amazing movie. One of the best Scooby-Doo movies. I really enjoyed watching it. My only complaint is the movie comes in dark, but that's probably because it is old. Nothing you can really do. The storyline is great and is overall one of my favorite Scooby-Doo movies. Is this person, like,
They
6?
They did heroin while watching, is what happened. And they just laid there just like, could be worse.
Yeah, I don't get it. And Mo just pointed out to me, there is one that's 5 stars that just says, "Love my Scooby," all caps, exclamation point.
Yeah, I like that one. Love my Scooby.
Some
it
of
sounds
these,
very,
so,
like, commanding.
there's a lot of great 5-star reviews, long and short, because there's also one here that says, 5 stars, no description, but 5 stars, bought the DVD. The movie was exactly as described in the description.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's his only requirement for 5 stars.
That's really fucking fair.
He was like, he saw, like, Independence Day 2. And he's like, yep, it was exactly as described.
Yeah.
I'm saying this man has no taste. That's what I'm saying. I'm dunking on Independence Day 2. Come at me. It was a bad movie.
I never saw it.
It was bad.
Good, I won't see it.
It was like, hey, you liked Independence Day? This is Independence Day, but everyone's old and it's dumb.
Now you see me. Now you see me too.
I call it now you don't.
Now you jewel heist?
We're referencing another podcast.
Yeah, again, we got distracted, so we watched, like, another podcast.
Oh my god.
He showed me a video about a chain link. We made churros.
Okay.
I've had a lot of drinks.
Wrapping up, God help us. Don't bother with this movie. I mean, I'm a pretty into it Scooby-Doo fan. I could not sit through this movie.
My review, my Scooby-Dooby reviewy.
No. 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 You don't get a review now. I'm revoking your privilege. That was awful. We're ending the show right now.
Okay.